everyone, Bernard here. Hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to the Citizen channel as we look back at an interesting game, to say the least. A little bit frustrating at times. Yeah, I was at the end of my tether, I think, by about the 78th minute, but all ended okay, didn't it? But yeah, we're going to look back at Manchester City, of course, 2, Aston Villa 0. I would have killed for that at half time. Would have been quite happy with that, but I didn't know it was going to sort of pan out as it did. But yeah, at the Etihad, 20th of January, 6 p.m. kickoff, wasn't it? So yeah, we'll have a quick match analysis, some match stats. Of course, Simon Bukowski's player ratings and my own player ratings. Not too much difference today. We'll have the quirky stats, of course, and any conclusions we can make about how City are doing, obviously, and how our opponents Villa are going to do, actually, from now on. Please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. All these little vlogs are coming out. As you know, I do my City history stuff as well as these City present and quizzes, lots of different stuff, magazines, etc., etc. So, vlog magazine, that is. So please check those playlists, and you will know some TV and film stuff as well. I have a film and TV channel, so if that's of any interest to you or someone you know might be interested, please point my direction. That'd be fantastic. Please check a couple of links on screen for Facebook and Twitter. I do follow and friend everyone back, so just wait 2 or 3 days. If you follow and friend me, I will ensure a check, and actually I do that every 2 or 3 days. And please, any comments you can make, fantastic. It's just nice to know you're out there. And if you haven't got time for a little comment, just please, thumbs up, so fantastic. And it's great to get views, but it's nice to get thumbs up, please. If you can spend just that split second just to press that little thumb up button, it'd be fantastic. Right, let's have a look at City. Yeah, the starting lineup, 3 changes, wasn't it, to the Palace game. Obviously the starting lineup was Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan. Got the double pivot? Probably not. De Bruyne, Bernardo, Foden and Sterling. Subs bench, Stefan, Jesus, Zinchenko, Torres, Mendy, Fernandinho, Mahrez, Garcia and Bernabé. So Garcia's back. I did comment about why is he on the bench, but someone said we've got no centre-half options. We'll say, well, I'll get my boots and play centre-half. I'd rather someone else than that young gentleman, I'm afraid. But hey, there you go. But I suppose from a footballing point of view, Pep thinks it's the right thing to do. I don't think he's that good. Even when he does play, to be honest with you, but hey, that's just me. What do I know? I'm not paid the big money. I'm not paid the big money to make a decision like Pep is. Yeah, I got 9 correct on that team, so that wasn't bad. I had Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones. I put Mendy in though. What was it? Rodri, KDB, Gundogan, Foden, Jesus and Sterling. So yeah, I was a couple out. 9's not bad, is it? That's pretty good, that. Yeah, everyone was happy. There's no real big talk on social media. Everyone was quite happy with that, I think. I don't think there's any real big complaints. There wasn't even any comments about Gundogan and Rodri playing, because we seem to accept that they have a little different style now, don't they, than what we think they're going to play. So that's not too bad. I think we lost one of the linos last night, didn't we? But anyway, the referee was Jonathan Moss, wasn't he? And VAR was Andy Madley. So I mean, I'll skip over the linos and 4th officials. Yeah, I think one rang in sick, didn't he? So yeah, we did have a replacement, but I can't remember. It was Mr. Yeah, it's Robatham, wasn't it? Yeah, he's usually on VAR actually, but he must have got his mum to ring in sick with a horsey voice to get him out of the game, because it was a bit cold last night, wasn't it? Yeah, so weather awful, wasn't it? I don't think it was blowing so bad. I don't think the wind, obviously I live in Altrincham, so I'm not that far away, about 10 or 12 miles, which can be different. It's certainly a lot colder over there than it is in Altrincham. I've noticed that myself when I go up to the matches, when we can go to matches. But yeah, so it didn't seem to be blowing as much, but obviously it was quite wet and that pitch was cutting up badly. Well, and that pitch is taking some stick, isn't it? Back to the old days with all these horrible pitches. Let's see what Cheltenham's pitch is on Saturday. That'll be an interesting one, won't it? I bet that's... I don't think that'll be great, to be honest with you. Yeah, first 45 minutes, yeah, I mean, Bernardo should have stuck as a head, shouldn't he, really? Martinez, who obviously... must have took about 2 minutes over every goal kick and 2 minutes every time he caught the ball and fell on the floor. I mean, obviously, I've not seen that sort of time wasting done so obviously for a long time. So I know the ref did warn him at one stage, didn't he? But it did annoy me on what was quite a frustrating night for most of it, wasn't it? But that did annoy me a little bit, because I've not seen a lot of time wasting in recent games this season. So which is interesting. There's no real reason, there's no crowd to sort of get on the back. So it's quite odd that it's funny, isn't it, how they don't seem to be doing it now. There's no crowds in the ground, but there you go. 6 minutes, yeah, Bernardo should have perhaps scored, but he spread himself well, didn't he? He didn't know much about it, did he? He didn't know much about the save. He just saved it with his spread out legs, didn't he? 6 minutes, Traore went on a stroll. I mean, I don't like these Traore guys. I mean, obviously, I don't assume he's not a relation to the Wolves bloke, but yeah, he went on a stroll through, didn't he? But eventually he got blocked anyway, but he seemed to just stroll past everyone, and Cancelo was obviously not the greatest defender. We'll have a bit more on him later on, obviously. 9 minutes. Foden did the same. He sort of skipped through, but nothing came of it. 10 minutes, they had a 3-on-2, didn't they? Villa had a break, but I thought Barkley was pretty awful last night, to be honest with you, for Villa. He sort of, every time he got it, he just played the wrong ball or didn't quite hit the pass right. And they did have a 3-on-2, but Barkley couldn't find his colleague, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for us, obviously. 28 minutes, yeah, after Grealish had manhandled him earlier, Walker had to go off, didn't he? So a bit more on Grealish in a minute or two. So Walker went off. Zinchenko on. Had a good game when he come on. Zinchenko again. 29 minutes, KDB's shot was deflected wide. Yeah, that was a good effort. Perhaps... yeah, he did okay with it. Perhaps he could have hit it a bit better. 37 minutes, a good chance, and Ederson did this all night. He sort of really went down and gathered a good, not a fantastic save, but a good standard, solid goalkeeper save that you want to see him make. And obviously in them conditions, some of those 2 or 3 of those saves he made last night were fantastic, where he's obviously getting down and it's wet, the ball, and he's holding on to it. Absolutely fantastic. On 46 minutes, a great Foden chance, wasn't there, for just on the brink of half-time. I thought, oh yes, we're going to go in half-time 1-0, but a KDB assist, but unfortunately Foden's effort was saved as well. So frustrating first half. Villa looked doing really well. I thought they looked really dangerous. So we'll talk about Villa after, obviously, but yeah, there's something about them, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So my little thoughts at half-time... well, there you go. I thought we're gonna have to get an early goal, but it didn't come, did it? I mean, it was chance after chance after half chance after half chance, wasn't it? I mean, still Villa looked dangerous on the breaks as the ball. I mean, the ball was ricocheting around their area like anything. 52 minutes, Traore. I mean, the commentator almost wet themselves, didn't they? Left KDB on the floor and tried to bend it past Ederson, but again, Ederson clung on to that. As I said, he was quite impressed with Ederson's handling last night, especially in the conditions. Yeah, but obviously I think KDB just fell over and lost his. I don't think Traore probably didn't know that much about it, but hey, there you go. 54 minutes, Cancelo hit the bar. I think he should have scored with that, to be honest with you. The keeper was nowhere. Just again, I'll talk about Cancelo later as well, but he hits the bar with the keeper for once beaten. 59 minutes, of course, KDB after a tussle with, again, Grealish, again, goes off injured. Let's hope that's not too serious. Muscular could be a problem. Don't like muscular, do we? Jesus came on, 6-7 minutes. Ederson saves well again as Villa have 2 quick half chances. Yeah, so it's sort of end-to-end stuff, wasn't it? Well, two of us at their end and then one of them at our end. I think it was sort of ratio. Gundogan sees a header save, obviously on the 69 minutes, and it sort of bounces around and goes through his legs, doesn't it? I mean, how he saved it in the first place, I don't know. Again, he didn't know much about it, I don't think, but as I say, the ball bounced about and it ended up going between Gundogan's legs and being hoofed to safety. So, you know, you're just thinking at that stage, aren't you? 69 minutes, 20 minutes to go. It's not going to be our day, is it? And 72 minutes, Sterling went off. Mahrez on. Was Sterling on the pitch? I didn't even know he was on the pitch. 75 minutes, a great clearance, won it by Diaz. A fantastic. What a... I mean, I thought it was in. I thought it was an own goal. But on, you know, he saw the replay. He knew what he was doing. He just managed to sort of get his foot on it in front of the Aston Villa forward. A great, fantastic from Rodri. I mean, that's... absolutely. Well, what can you say? Not Rodri. My apologies, bloody Rodri. What am I on about? Diaz. Great clearance from Diaz from that dangerous cross. Fantastic. 79 minutes. Finally, a bit of luck, wasn't it? And obviously, we'll talk about it in a minute with Mr. Clattenburg having a good whinge in the paper this morning. But yeah, Rodri coming back from offside. Mings controlled it by controlling it. It's the second phase, so Rodri's okay to tackle, but obviously, It can't be right, that, surely. It's got to be something. I mean, they haven't brought it under control. He chested it down, didn't he? And Rodri didn't even give him a chance to he just sort of tackled him. So, but we needed that, didn't we? And we deserved it. I think we deserved it. I mean, whatever they say about Villa, I mean, they were putting bodies all over the place, but we did deserve the win. And what a finish by Bernardo. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, Dean Smith was yellow carded and then red carded, which was quite funny. Yeah, that was. I thought it was a break we deserved. Actually, I know it's a bit perhaps unfair on Villa. If it gone against us, I would have been really angry. But hey, there you go. We've had enough against us in the past, haven't we? 88 minutes. Cancelo brings out a save. And then a header from Jesus, which apparently, was it Mr. Carragher said it was going wide, so it shouldn't have been a penalty. But that's not the rules, is it? At the end of the day, his arm was high. So, the rules are his arm was high, he blocked it, and it's a penalty. And fortunately, Gundogan didn't want to pick a side, did he? Just put it straight down the middle. Fortunately, the goalkeeper went one way, so it ended up in the back of the net. So, yeah, 2-0. Ref watch. Moss, I thought he was all right last night. I thought he did okay, and he allowed that goal to stand. So hey, I'm going to give him 6.5. My basic score's 6, so he's going to get 6.5. John Moss, well done, Mr. Moss. Fantastic. You can't retire yet. I did hint at him retiring in the preview, but you can stay for a bit longer. The match stats: 28 for City. I'll get these right today. I made a bit of an error the other day. There's nothing on screen because I couldn't get my stats till later. But it's 28 shots for City, 9 on target, 11 shots for Villa, 4 on target. Possession was 70%, 30%. Passes 628 for City, 285 for Villa. Completion rate 88%. Well, considering the conditions, I thought that was pretty good, to be honest with you. 72% for Villa. Fouls, we won the fouls again. So we've done the last couple of games, we've won the fouls. We committed 10, they only committed 9. And the corners 16-2. And I think we sort of nearly scored from a couple of corners, but 16 corners, unbelievable. And that just shows how much blocking they were doing, wasn't it? At the back. Right, the player ratings. Mr. Pukowski's first, and my starting score for last night, I'm only going to start it at 6. Even though we had a victory, I just with the conditions and the game as a whole, I'll just start my City players off at 6 as my rating. Right, Edison. Obviously, these are Bukowski's first. Nice to see Mr. Brennan back tweeting as well. I think it's been a bit poorly, hasn't he? So that was nice to see. Although he's not, I don't think he'll be doing the player ratings anymore. But there you go. Simon Bukowski for the evening news. Yeah, I don't know what his idea of a minimum score is, but here we go. Edison, Barkley and Traore tested him a few times, although he never had anything that was too uncomfortable to deal with. But I think he dealt with just the ordinary stuff, and that's what you want from a goalkeeper. But he has given him 7, and I have as well. I thought he did really well in pretty awful conditions. Walker picked up hamstring injury. Not very good, is it? Tried to run it off, but it caught up with him before the half-hour mark, and he had to be replaced by Zinchenko. So he's only given Walker a 6. Yeah, I'll give him a 6. That's my standard, so I can't do much more than that. Stones beaten in the air in what felt like forever in a momentary flashback to the Carabao Cup final. Other than that, he brought a dogged quality that shows why he's become undroppable from the team. So let's give him a 7, yeah. I'll give him half a point extra. Stones, I thought, again, in the conditions, I thought he did a good job. Diaz, another full-bloody, completely committed performance to ensure yet another clean sheet. His willingness to scramble helps the rest of the defence to be calm. Yeah, so he's given him a 7. I mean, I've given him an extra point, so I'd give him a 7 as well for that. Just for that clearance, I'd give him I like scoring a goal, that, wasn't it, at the end of the day. Cancelo started on the left, moves to the right after Walker went off and frequently pushed forward. He was excellent at the back, showing intelligence and caution to make sensible decisions, was also one of the best attackers, so he's given Cancelo 8. I worry about Cancelo. I think he's the nearly man. I'm sorry, I think I said the same with these attacking defenders. Unless they're going to score, unless they're going to assist goals, I can't see the point. So, I mean, Cancelo's just a nearly man. How many goals has he scored so far? I mean, that one that he hit the bar, right, did all right. He attacks really well, but unless he's setting up goals or scoring, I mean, no disrespect. I mean, a lot of the guys are actually setting up goals. We haven't got anyone to put in the net, have we? That's a problem. We don't have a striker on the pitch, but. Yeah, I mean, I've given you 6.5. I've given him an extra half a point, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that unless, it's no good to me. It's no good getting in the box and looking wonderful if you're not going to put it in the net. So, yeah, he's a nearly man for me. I know I'm being a bit mean, but there you go. I'll give him 6.5. Simon give him an 8. Rodri nearly headed to put it on a plate for Bernardo, set the tone for a useful performance where he looked to get the team playing quickly on the front foot as often as possible. Yeah, so he's give Rodri a 7. Again, it was steady. Again, not really noticed that much. 6.5 I'll give Rodri. It was okay. Gundogan, very sharp, nipping into dispossessed Villa players and pushing on with confidence and style. Denied by a superb block by Mings in the second half, he was, but got himself a goal via a penalty. Yeah, so he's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He scored a penalty. That'll do for me. KDB, his corners caused all sorts of trouble in the first half. He looked in the mood before tiring and seemingly picking up an injury. The one player City really don't need to be out for long. Yeah, because we're a one-man team according to Liverpool, aren't we? So there you go. He's give Kevin 7. Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. I'll give him an extra half a mark, but obviously he was only on the pitch 60 minutes, so I'm being generous. Bernardo missed a sitter in the opening minutes, but ran really well with the ball, often picking it deep and careering through the Villa lines. Brilliant goal to break the deadlock. Representative of Old Trafford in 2018. It was a superb goal. Let's give him 8. Yeah, I give him 7. He wasn't having the greatest game, I think, last night. So I'm giving him 7. Giving him an extra point for scoring the goal. But he did keep going, and that's all we ask. Sterling, not his night. The right wing, not his night. Not the first, is it? The right wing often suits him, but he was matched by Matt Target and was unable to add anything productive to the attack or be as involved as he would like. So Stuart only give him Simon's only given him a 5. Yeah, I just give him a 6. I've been kind with a 6. I nearly give him a 5.5, but no one's got less than the standard today, so I'll give him a 6. But for being a nuisance, but that's about it. Foden, City's biggest threat, regularly finding space on the left flank and creating opportunities. Do more than anyone else to try and get a ball into the goal. Absolutely, he's given him an 8. Yeah, he's one of my high score, if not my highest score. 7.5. An excellent outlet all game. Didn't stop, absolutely fantastic, and didn't run out of steam in the second half, which he tends to do sometimes either. Zinchenko for Walker, 28, an accomplished performance, highlighting why he was turned to ahead of Mendy. Yeah, he's given him a 7, Zinchenko. Yeah, I've given him a 7 as well. I thought he was very good last night. Obviously, defending isn't great, but that's not his big skill. We're not great in defending. Cancelo's defending isn't great either, but yeah, I give him a 7 as well. Jesus for De Bruyne, 59 minutes. The signs of rustiness that you would expect from him in front of the goal. Yeah, I think he's out of sorts at the moment. I think he's going to take a little bit to come back from this COVID thing, to be honest with you. I don't think he's the same Jesus at the moment. But, keep giving him minutes and he'll get there, hopefully. So he's given him a 6. I give him a 6 as well. But not Mahrez for Sterling. He came on 72 minutes. But, I think he did okay, actually, from what I remember. I think he sort of helped. I think he sort of helped that attack, I must admit, and give Villa something else to worry about. My City man of the match. Yeah, of course. I'm going to give it Phil, aren't I? I'm going to tell my by score there. Fantastic. All right. All we need is a striker he can feed. I mean, I believe a young lad scored a hat-trick for the under-23s the other night again, but we don't have a striker doing games like last night. I mean, I'll talk about it in the conclusion, but games like last night, that we need a strike. At least one target, man. Please. And again, if he's not going to play Delap, which he's not, and he's going to rely on his midfielders, we're going to have games like that where if we don't score early and players are putting the bodies on the line, we're going to struggle and get frustrated. And I think we were lucky to win that in the end last night. And we have to look at that and think going forward, please get Aguero back, or as I say, I think Jesus is going to take time, and he's not really a striker, is he? Let's be honest about it. He's more a left wing sort of attacking sort of threat, isn't he? Anyway, quirky stats. Here we go. Up to Joe, Pep Guardiola's averaged the most points per game of any permanent manager in the Premier League history, 2.32, ahead of Sir Alex Ferguson, 2.16, and Klopp, 2.15. Manchester United won 15 of their last 16 Premier League home games against Villa, only lost 1, including each of the last 11 in a row by an aggregate score of 35-4. Phil Foden creates 6 chances and 5 shots versus Villa. He is the youngest player, 20 years, 237 days in Pep's managerial career, to have 10 plus shot involvements in a league game, overtaking Lionel Messi in 2008 versus Sporting de Gijón at 21 years, 89 days. There you go. So the comparisons are still there. Bernardo has scored his first Premier League goal at the Etihad in 20 appearances since scoring a hat-trick against Watford in September 2019. Gundogan has scored 7 goals in 19 appearances in all competitions this season, with 2021 already his best goal-scoring campaign in his top-flight career. Well done, Ilkay. Aston Villa become the first team to concede 50-plus goals to Man City. I think it now stands at 51, as the visiting side to the Etihad Stadium. There you go. Can we play you every week? Or perhaps not after last night. Stat City 29 Man City player. This is a quirky stat. There's a few knocking around yesterday about Trump's presidency, obviously, wasn't there? So I've not come up with them all. But 29 Man City players made their first team debut during Trump's presidency, and they're out on the internet. If you want to have a look at them, just check on Stat City. They're there. I'm not going to read them all out. Man City kept exactly 50 clean sheets at the Etihad Stadium during Trump's time in the White House. There you go. John Stones made his 150th appearance in all competitions for Man City. There you go, that was his 150th appearance. Well done, John. Some of the headlines: BBC, a hard-earned victory. It certainly was. The Guardian, a wildly entertaining game was somehow heading towards a goalless conclusion until Bernardo Silva's late, decisive and controversial strike. It was controversial, I'm not going to deny it. The Sun, Bernardo Silva next controversial goal in end-to-end clashes. Dean Smith sees red. Poor Dean. Expressing the Star, after nearly 3 weeks out of action due to a coronavirus outbreak, Villa's first Premier League match had sufficient drama to fill several weeks. It probably did. And there's a couple of things here from the Mirror. Red Raw, but a great picture of Bernardo there celebrating. Red Raw, obviously it's to do with United, isn't it? And of course, the red card for the Villa manager as well. Pep eyes silverware. Bernardo sets City on their way to 6 successive wins to turn up the title heat. So great image, great picture of Bernardo there scoring the goal. Fantastic. In the Daily Fail. Yeah, this is Smith sees red as Silva catches in, so there's a great image of Bernardo. But there's a piece on Clattenburg there, and obviously why this goal shouldn't have stood last night. I'll just read that out to you. Opinion will be divided because it's down to how you interpret the offside law. One argument is that Aston Villa's Tyrone Mings deliberately played the ball, therefore Rodri, who was originally offside, became onside. However, there is also an argument that Rodri immediately challenged Mings for the ball, so the Villa defender had not got full control of it. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. As Mings chested the ball, he was challenged, which prevented him gaining control. So what was he supposed to do? Let it drop and not touch it? I mean, I just don't understand what the logic of the rule is, to be honest with you. So he just let it go on the floor. I mean, obviously Rodri couldn't have touched it until Mings got it properly under control. But I mean, your brain's perhaps not working that quick. I mean, the footballers, they're not bloody Einstein, these guys, to figure out what they can and what they can't do. And they don't even know the rules anyway, like none of us do. None of us know the real official laws. As Mings chested the ball, he was challenged, which prevented him gaining control. Rodri robbed him of possession and City scored. In my view, this is Mr. Clattenburg, and it's Fergie's mate, wasn't he? In my view, Rodri should have been given offside. It doesn't feel fair on Villa. Not the rule of the law, though, is it, unfortunately? Or in the spirit of the game. Well, there you go. That the goal stood. No wonder Dean Smith was so outraged that he got red carded for his protests. I think football would expect a situation such as this to result in an offside decision. Yes, but that's not the actual rule of the law, is it? Had that happened at the Etihad, most people would not have questioned it. I don't understand that. I think he's got it a bit wrong there. As it did happen at the Etihad. I don't know what they're going on about. I don't know what that little piece is there, but yeah, so there you go. Reigning champ, there you go. Our own Manchester Evening News. Obviously, we don't have to suffer United, don't we? They've gone back into top spot, aren't they? It's top spot. Blues are really in the title mood now with some great, I mean, again, obviously Bernardo getting all the plaudits there for that one. And inside, we have something inside, don't we? Let's have a look. Yeah, Guardiola left sweating on double injury blow for the Blues. Yeah, so that could be, let's see what happens with our two guys. I've not checked today, actually. You might know more than me as you're watching this or whatever. I'm not here. I've just basically come home from work and come to do this. So that's your headlines. Yeah, conclusion. Yeah, it was so close, wasn't it? I said I was so frustrated last night. But we do need I mean, these are the sort of games where, yes, it's nice to have false nines. It's nice to have midfielders who can score goals. But games like last night, are going to happen. We're going to get them against better teams where we're not going to get as many chances and we're not going to get as much luck. Because let's face it, that goal was luck. I mean, for me, as a referee, I would have blown Rodri offside. I just think it's a silly law. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So we got away with it, didn't we? News to say we wouldn't have scored again in the next 10 minutes. But could you could you see it coming? I certainly couldn't see City winning that on 78 minutes. I was panicking and thinking, if anything, Villa might have nicked one. But I mean, by that stage, I think Villa had shot the ball. To be honest with you, I think it was going to be a total City domination. I don't think they were going to worry us so much and after that. But I mean, we do need we need either Aguero back or I don't understand why he doesn't have Delap on the bench. I just don't understand. We know, just for 15-20 minutes, just to target man there, especially in them conditions as well, it'll make a big difference. And he can, he scored a hat-trick a couple of nights ago. All right, he got sent off, but perhaps he wouldn't have been allowed to play anyway, but I'm sure he wouldn't have been on the bench even if he hadn't been sent off, but because it was the night before, wasn't it? But there you go, and we can argue about the offside law, but hey, it was 2-0 in the end, wasn't it? So we'll take what we can. We've had enough the other way against us, haven't we, in the past, so I think we'll accept that. It was strange play by City. So that's why I only sort of marked us 6 out of 10 for the players. I just thought it was a quite unusual performance from City. Villa was strange as well. I mean, they're not a patch on last. They have a swagger about them, don't they, Villa? They have a bit of cockiness, which can backfire sometimes. A couple of times the players looked a bit too comfortable on the ball or too cocky with it, and they'd misplace a pass or they get caught in possession. Obviously, Mings got a bit of stick for that with the Rodri goal, with the Rodri interception that set up the goal. But it's weird, isn't it? I mean, I've never been a big fan of Grealish. I don't want him at City. I don't like Grealish. I mean, he sort of, in a way, injured 2 of our players last night. I know it wasn't anything specific, but I mean, he was involved in both of those things. I just don't like the guy. I'm sorry, I'm not a big Grealish fan. I can't stand him personally. Yes, we did ride our luck, but it's just Villa. They do look far more confident and they do have a swagger, which is nice. And it's doing them all right. They have 1 or 2 good players. They have some players that perhaps are nearly men, again, if I use my Cancelo analogy, who can perhaps do a like Traore, can perhaps do so much, but then misses that one little element when it comes to the crunch. And I think the conditions were a great level last night. I think the weather equalled the teams a little bit. Of course, I think I think City deserved to win. I think we deserved to win it. But we did get that little bit of luck, didn't we? And let's hope Walker and KDB are okay. But I think Villa will be fine. I mean, top 6, they're not going to be top 6, are they? I mean, that keeps them back in 11th, doesn't it? We were second and Villa are now 11th. They should finish top half, but I mean, it's a bit like Leeds, isn't it? Again, they'll sort of be middling, won't they? Be middling. They're not going to get dragged into any relegation thing, I would have thought, because as I say, they do have some 3 or 4 really, really good players, and some others that can do something special every now and then. So they'll be okay. A lot better than they were last season, anyway. Pretty awful last season, Villa, weren't they? But they say they do have a bit of a swagger to him, and that goalkeeper, I'm sorry, I think he should have been booked for time wasting. He got on my nerves. I'm not saying he's a bad goalkeeper. He's okay, isn't he? But is he Argentinian? But I mean, I thought that seemed to have died a death, this time wasting. But there's a couple of ones where he caught the ball and just fell on the floor and wasted time, and took about 2 minutes to take a goal kick. So he can do one as well for me. Yep, anyway, they'll be all right, Villa. They'll be fine, Villa. And will we be all right? Yeah, just a bit angry about these striker situation at the moment. I just don't think. Certainly in February, when we've got some big games, haven't we, coming up in February? I do worry. I just hope Aguero's back, but that seems to. Some people think he's big. Some people think that's it. We won't see him again. But hey, that's pushing it a bit, isn't it? But as I say, he's not the same player. But at least he's a focal point, isn't he? At least if he has lost that half a yard, at least he's still a focal point for us. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this. I'll stop waffling now. Of course, I'll be back with a preview of the Cheltenham game in the FA Cup. BBC One, isn't it? That's nice to see City on BBC. So let's put a display on way for the people who don't normally get to see City on BBC Live. There you go. So I'll be back with a preview of that probably on Friday. So I'm doing this on Thursday, so probably on Friday. And please check out my recent City vlogs. There's one on striker Joe Hayes, who was at City from 1953 to 1965. A great striker, as blind as a bat, just like me. But please check that out. That's out there on the playlist, and also there'll be the One City show as well. Have a look at that, and there'll be a second one of those coming out soon. And of course, there'll be a That Was a Week That Was coming out. So tons of stuff there, certainly on the City present. And check that Joe Hayes thing out for the City past. Thanks for joining me for this big match analysis. Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 0, and we sit second in the table behind our wonderful enemies. But we've got a game in hand, haven't we? So let's win the game in hand and go above them and shut them up for a bit. Hey, that'd be nice. Please, whatever you do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet again here on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you flit over to my film and TV channel. All I ever ask you all to do is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.